I think it's time for a double feature.
This is a world premiere. This is a world.
So it's Sunday, obviously. It's time for another mukbang. I have a few things that I want to talk about with you guys today, but I found these Purple Heart. I don't know if you can see it. Dulcinea Pure Heart miniature watermelon, mini watermelons. Anyway, so we're going to be doing mini watermelon mukbang, and I actually have kind of limited time because today I'm actually starting. It's the first meeting of the board of directors. I was asked to be on the board of an organization called the Cooperation Group, and they provide technical support to individuals who are trying to start cooperatively run businesses. Cooperatively run businesses are businesses where the workers are the owners. Sometimes a cooperative might be a consumer cooperative where the business is actually owned by the people who shop there. Like if anybody here belongs to a food co-op, it's probably that set up in that way. And there are all kinds of different co-ops, but I'm working primarily with people who are trying to start worker co-ops. So I was doing that in New York City. And it was great. Started a co-op with a group of young people. That's a guerrilla marketing co-op. But they're doing pretty well. Anyway, so when I was moving to Detroit, obviously I wanted to get involved in some of that work, and so I was asked to be on the board of directors of this. Cool, it was cool. So that's the day. So I'm dressed a little bit more geeky than normal, but no offense to geeks. I actually don't even know if this is geeky. I probably shouldn't use that word if I don't know what it means, right? So much to talk about with all of you today. I was really excited. First of all, I want to say welcome to all of you who are joining from the Vegan Lasses channel. I was really thrilled. I'd been following the Vegan Lasses channel, and I actually did not so much a shout out, but just, I guess, a shout out of the Vegan Lasses channel. And then found out that she was doing this contest. So the next day I talked about the contest, or 2 days later I talked about this kind of like contest she's having people enter to be shouted out on her channel, which is a pretty cool thing because her channel's getting up there. So it definitely made a difference for me since then. So there's about 100 new of you since 2 days ago when that shout out happened. So welcome. And those of you who are out there trying to grow your channels know how hard it is to get 100 subscribers. So I'm very, very grateful to Lauren for that. So many things. I've been wanting to do a video for all of you talking about some of my history with food. I also want to talk to you a little bit about gender identity today. And that comes partially from, I think it's Triceratops is the new name for Sarah Bellier's channel, but as part of the 30-day video, 30 videos in 30-day challenge, Sarah did a video talking about gender and the complexity of gender. And man, I found myself like going on a little road trip in my mind about like what would a world without gender be, and making the distinction between, sex, your, your biological sex, right? You have certain parts of your body that function in certain ways, but what does that have to do on a social level? What should those things matter? And that's really where I was kind of coming from in my brain. And so then to do away with gender would require us to really understand how gender has been used to benefit some and at the expense of others. And so, you know, so there was a struggle in my mind. So to really do away with, and I think the same is true with like racism, right? To do away with racism, we have to acknowledge that it was there to begin with, figure out how it was put in place, figure out how it works and functions in people's minds, and then, you know, dismantle it. And that would take a lot of time. And I feel with gender, it seems like an even sort of bigger mess because you have this biological gender, or the way people think about gender biologically, and even in terms of sexual orientation, it gets really complicated. So I don't know. So that was something. I might get back into that if there's time. Something else I wanted to talk just a little bit about. Recently, there have been a number of videos by fairly substantial YouTubers who are clickbaiting with the title, "I'm quitting YouTube." And I don't know. Is there... Man, it's bright. So the sun is not going to be my friend today. So you guys are going to hopefully just deal with it as we deal with it every Sunday when it's a one-take thing. So anyway, I'm a little disturbed by this, you know, I'm quitting YouTube. It smacks a little of, you know, do you love me? Do you love me enough to ask me to stay? And my sense is, not that this is why people are posting those videos, or even why that sentiment is in the air, and why anyone would use that. I mean, I shouldn't talk because who knows, I might actually use that in the title of this video to get people to watch it. But it is something that I'd like to, you know, look at a little more deeply. Why that? If it's not heartfelt, I mean, you know, like looking at like Asenna O'Neill. I don't know if some of you may or may not know about Asenna O'Neill, but about 8 months ago, about 8 months ago, I want to say, maybe 9, Asenna O'Neill left social media, you know, made an announcement and left social media. And it created quite a stir. And I was confused by it because I didn't know who the person was before they left YouTube. And so to be discovering someone after they're gone, Asenna O'Neill didn't leave a lot behind, you know, didn't leave really a trail of breadcrumbs for us to really figure out like what that was about. But it raised an uproar. So then to kind of have it become the fashion for YouTubers to say, you know, I'm leaving YouTube, when it's indeed not the case. Makes me wonder if there's not something going on with those content creators where they just need a different kind of support from their viewers. You know, maybe they just want to have somebody say you're a good person and and you should keep doing that. I guess one thing about YouTube and being a YouTube content creator is that it can be very lonely, because here I am right now in this. I'm in a room. I'm by myself. I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you. And I can't see you. I don't know how you're reacting. I don't know if you're, making coffee or doing your chores, or if I'm just noise in the background, or if you've clicked on this video and some people may not even still be listening from the moment that they clicked on the link to this video. So it can get very lonely. I mean, I'm guessing if you're a big channel, you can have assistants and you have other people, you have somebody working the camera, who knows what else, you might have all kinds of people around you. But, a small channel like mine, and I'm sure that even much larger channels, there's just that person with their camera daring to, talk to you. I was just checking the sound. I hope it's definitely on. I'm gonna look real quick. I've become notorious for shooting an entire mukbang and eating, half a watermelon and then realizing that I hadn't turned the camera on, so I hadn't turned the sound on, and that just is miserable. It's miserable. Anyway, so continuing on. So yeah, it gets lonely, and I imagine that the content creators really just want to know how you feel. I feel very fortunate because I have a small enough channel that I can, if you comment on my channel, I'm going to respond likely. I would say I spend more time actually in the comment section than I do actually making and editing the videos. I spend hours a day answering comments on the channel. So I don't know. What do you think? Why do you think do you feel like there is a little bit of an epidemic on the YouTube right now, and maybe particularly with vegan YouTubers, of people threatening to quit, people threatening to leave YouTube? And what do you think about that? So, yeah. I've been enjoying the feedback from the updates, and I'm really liking that format, and I'm glad that you appreciate it. My Wednesday video, actually, I don't know if you guys noticed it, but by the end, like, my shirt was soaked. It's a bit of a show, so I really do. I'm glad that you guys have been appreciating those things and shouting that out. So yeah. So I did a walkthrough yesterday, and I hope that's something that you guys like. I just don't feel like I've been doing a good job of keeping you guys up to date on what's happening. There've been some, so I don't know. Let me know if you'd like to hear more about what's happening in the space. And I could get into details. Should I do like a how-to video? We're going to be making some windows. I don't know. What are these things? I definitely want to check in regularly now that the plants are actually, the basil is transplanted and there's dandelion greens in gestating now. I really definitely want to at least show you guys each week the progress in the growth of things in the indoor garden. So I hope that that's something that you guys would be interested in. What else? Oh. So I guess I want to talk to you a little bit about my relationship with food. And I've been thinking about talking to you guys about food and, I guess my, eating disorder. I don't know. Disordered eating, history of disordered eating. I don't want to say an eating disorder, because I was never diagnosed as someone with an eating disorder, But I guess when you're, when you're bulimic, it's hard to miss. It's just hard to miss, And so what's interesting is, it was something that I lived with for so long, and that brought so much shame into my life. And it's interesting because I was a person who already had, secrets. I was I liked boys and, instead of girls. So there was a reason to kind of be carrying around all of this shame. We were kind of poor in my family, so, I'm sure that my relatives watching this would be like, we weren't poor, but we went for, there was a year that we went without any utilities in our house, so I think we were pretty much poor. So there was that shame. I went to Catholic school, and I went to Catholic school for 9 years, so, that was so there was, all of that shame in general, shame, guilt, shaming, and this is all being a kid, so then to have been born with a body that in a lot of ways just didn't act right. My body didn't want to act right. When I went through puberty, it was weird because I actually got, people got confused about my gender. And it wasn't as if I was, it wasn't like I was hanging out with a group of, gay men who I was learning behaviors from. And it's not like there were gay men that I saw in the media. There weren't examples of gay men. So to be a gay man, in Catholic school, in the, 60s and 70s, and I'm so sorry, but, there was still a lot of, overt racism too. I was a mess. And so, again, as I said, to have a body that wasn't behaving the way that it was supposed to. I mean, I hit puberty and, as happens with a lot of men, I started growing breasts and it was crazy. I'm sorry to use that term. I have to get that out of my vocabulary. It was unusual. And nobody had explanations for me. And so really to try to get my body under control, I started abusing myself, and became bulimic. And of course, it didn't help. It probably made matters worse, right? And I should learn more about this. And I think that's one of the reasons I was so excited about the Vegan Lasses channels, because she's so, out there and blatant about just the process of discovery and recovery of her eating disorder. And so as someone who's never really, again, been diagnosed, never really gone through a formal recovery that was observed by a doctor or anything like that. So I guess that leaves me thinking, and I have been thinking over the past weeks as this particular conversation has been building in my mind, that I need to spend some time in recovery for an eating disorder. I feel like I really need to spend some time in recovery. And, I don't feel like have the urge to go on binges. That's one great thing about being a raw vegan is that, I can eat whenever I want. And, the controlling part of it is that I'm not eating cooked food, well, for the most part. But I actually have been. I've been including, I've talked to you guys about, I've been including grains and legumes cooked. In fact, a couple of days ago, I went with Ethan, and all of the food that I had at lunch was pretty much cooked. I had sushi, and then I got some garbanzo beans because I was like, they didn't have enough sushi. So I got some garbanzo beans, and then they had kidney beans, and I put those in a thing. So I made myself a salad of garbanzo beans and kidney beans. But yeah, so I've been eating cooked food, but again, maintaining a mostly raw diet. So I don't know. Is this a manifestation of my eating disorder? Is this right now, is me sitting in front of you guys eating this watermelon a manifestation of my eating disorder? I don't know. What do you think? Is it possible for an eating disorder to go untreated and for the person who was experiencing it to find a way to recovery without some kind of a professional intervention? I can't wait to see what you guys have to say about that. And so there's a very strong connection for me to this idea of, body awareness, body consciousness, being someone who, I'm sure there are lots of people who have bodies like mine who, aren't, there's nothing wrong with them. It's not like they're eating food that's bad for them. They have a body that's like mine. But we might get into this a little bit more. I don't know. I'm not quite ready to strip for all of you for you to see all of this, but I'm sure that I'll get some messages from you asking for at least more specifics. But maybe I'll do a thing where I don't know, maybe I'll do something for you that makes all of this more clear to you. But if we didn't have these really strict messages coming our way constantly about gender, would I have felt the way that I felt about my body growing up? Interestingly, there's examples of the type of androgyny that I experienced when I was much younger. I see it all the time now. And boy, would it have been cool to have those, again, to have those models. Would it have been cool to have those models of, gay people normalized the way it might be more in the public eye now? I mean, I certainly know enough gay people, and I know people with all different types of body types who I, find just wonderful and beautiful and whatever. So I'm not as caught up on those things, but I just do wonder if ideas about gender create some of these issues. I'm sure somebody out there is like, duh, obviously ideas about gender create our, issues about body image. Yeah. So, yeah. So, have you guys been keeping up with the other channels? It's been really hard. Yes, I almost said that word. It's been really hard. And I just did the math and figured out that Ashley, Electric Mayhem, some number, is also doing the 30 videos in 30 days challenge. So yesterday I had to go and watch 10 videos from Ashley in a row. I'm so sorry that I hadn't shouted you out sooner, Ashley. But I had to watch 10 of those kind of in a row. And of course I'm not just gonna stick to the videos that are part of the 30-day challenge once I'm on your channel and binge watching. So I ended up, you guys have to forgive me, sometimes I have to stop because I'm eating and talking and it's not a good mix. So, you know, I get a little gassy. Anyway, so yesterday, totally binge watching. So you guys, I was thinking about cutting this one, but I don't think I'm gonna get through the whole thing. I think I'm only gonna get through half of this one, so you'll have to forgive me. But I'm binge watching on Ashley's channel, and it was amazing to get to know this person that I've, had spent, watched some videos, but once you really get into the body of someone's work, the content that someone is creating, you really can start to pick up on subtleties, and I just really kind of fell in love. So if you have the time or inclination, I would say go back and watch Ashley's videos. Ashley is someone who takes an intersectional approach to veganism and I would say social justice in general. Ashley refers to themselves as a secular humanist, but it's just really cool. So I was watching and there was just one point where I laughed out loud because Ashley was talking about getting a degree in like literature. And then there was like kind of this awkward moment and said, everyone laughs until they need an editor. And that struck me as so darn funny because it's the absolute truth. It's like, people who are English majors, they become teachers, right? Those like central, they're holding down language. They're holding down language, but get no respect until someone needs to use language or someone has used language and just done a not very good job of communicating what it was that they wanted to say. And how wonderful if they had sat down with, someone who knew a little bit about, syntax, basic syntax, I don't know. So not to be elitist about writing. I think that, all kinds of writing is powerful, but there's writing that's moving and powerful and emotional and emotionally charged, but there's also writing that's clear and you understand what it was that the person wanted to say. And having a professional in the room when you're trying to do that. So big ups to all my writers out there. You're holding down language. What else? I don't have much time. So it's bright and sunny and noon, but you guys probably aren't going to be seeing this until late at night. I wish I had I don't know. It just seems to me like I wish I could go back in time. I wish I could make this video, then go back in time and post it so you could be watching it like over breakfast or over brunch. And I don't know, maybe I'm getting silly now, but maybe I should do these live. What do you think? Should I do the Sunday mukbang? Should it be just live? And then that way I could just be sitting here. I don't edit the video, which is weird because sometimes it has really, sometimes it's problematic. sometimes the video cuts out on me, and I actually have to keep checking to make sure it doesn't cut out on me. And when it cuts out on me, I have to go back and... How random. I was just saying that sometimes the video randomly shuts off on me, and it just did it. And I need to figure out why that does that. Anyway, as I was saying, since these aren't edited, I could pretty much do them live. I just have to figure out how to set it up. So, I don't know. You guys let me know. Would you like me to do the Sunday mukbang live? And if I were to do the Sunday mukbang live, what time of day? I mean, I kind of feel like it should be around now, like around 11, noon-ish. But yeah. And then, how do you do an outro? You won't get the outro. So I don't know about that. Maybe I'll show you the outro or something. I don't know. That's weird. Now suddenly it's weird. Anyway. So, you know, I often refer to it just because I know that a lot of people are aware of it. And that's kind of the drama that's going on. And I want to be able to like refer to the fact that there's drama going on and hope the best for people. You know, hope people are okay and hope people aren't hurting each other. You know, say don't hurt each other. Be nice to each other. We're such a small minority. And that's, you know, in terms of vegan drama, because it seems like there is a particular flavor of drama that is vegan drama. But I'm aware of it. And things fade on their own, certainly. You know, people figure it out. People get tired. I just would say, it just seems to me that the pattern is, you know, get involved in drama, blow up, be the subject of drama. And at my age, I've seen a lot of amazing dramas that everyone was talking about. And if I mentioned their names, you wouldn't know who they were. You know, you wouldn't know who they were. And we're talking about people who were engaged in huge drama and like came, you know, had sort of a big celebrity around it, but it doesn't, you know. Like if I were to say Nancy Kerrigan, would that register to anyone? You know, would it mean anything to anyone? I don't know. So, anyway, I did not do bad. I just consumed 3 watermelon halves for you. And I'll get to the rest of this some other day. But I hope that doesn't leave us in a weird place. I don't think we came to any conclusions about anything, but please do let me know what you think. So that's it for this video. Like it if you like it. Share, comment, subscribe. This is Reg signing off. Love yourself. Peace.
And I love myself. The world is a ghetto with big guns and dick inside. I love myself.